Good day, good day, good day. Welcome to another live with Mark Keeper Braden. So excited to be with you today as we talk about 7 years, 7 lessons, what I've learned as an entrepreneur. 7 years, 7 lessons, what I've learned as an entrepreneur. Always excited to be with you live and excited to be sharing with you each and every week. It's been actually a while since I've done a live, but we are back and we are intending to be more consistent each and every week. I'm actually thinking about bringing back my Maximize Your Brand Mondays, which I was doing last year. And so I think that's what we're going to do is bring back those Maximize Your Brand Mondays where we are bringing you value, helping you to learn how to leverage your personal brand as a business, building an online based business, and teaching you the skills and the strategies in order to build a successful online based business. But today, our focus is, I'm gonna say that again. Today, our focus is 7 years, 7 lessons, what I've learned as an entrepreneur. This month marks June of 2025, marks 7 years of my being a full time entrepreneur since I started June of 2018. And when I think about it, I'm like, wow, those 7 years have gone by fast. And I am just excited that I've been able to do this for 7 years, excited that I've been able to maintain income the last 7 years, have not missed a bill, not missed a car note, not missed a mortgage, not missed anything that I needed to do to take care of myself and even to do some things that I want to do, not just have to do. So excited to be sharing today's live with you and these 7 lessons because I think they are important lessons that I've learned over the last 7 years. And so as I go to my social media just to make sure that we are live and that everything is good, just bear with me as I check out to make sure we are good on social. So, as you come into the space, type your name in the comments. You can engage with me in the comments as well and share what takeaways you have from these lessons and also share your own lessons in the comments as we go throughout this live because I want it to be engaging. I want it to be something that provides value to each of you. 7 lessons, 7 years as an entrepreneur. This is what I've learned in these last 7 years. So, lesson number one, as I think about these last 7 years, the first lesson that I will share with you, and these are not in any particular order, is that you have to bet on yourself. That nobody's coming to hand you the results of your dream. Nobody's going to do the work for you to take steps toward achieving that dream or that goal. Nobody is coming to do the work for you. You have to bet on yourself. And that comes from when I first got started. I got laid off in 2014 and April of 2014. And as I was thinking about what I was going to do, one of the things that came to mind for me was that I either went back to what I knew I wasn't necessarily excited about, what I knew wasn't helping me to be a vibrant person, or I could bet on myself. And so I decided to bet on me after I got laid off in 2014. And I had to think of ways to bridge the gap between being laid off and me being a full time entrepreneur, doing my speaking and coaching and consulting. And so between 2014 and 2018, the thought that I had was, what can I do that gives me autonomy, that gives me the ability to continue to work on the business, and that will give me the opportunity to allow me to work within my gifts, my talents, and my skills. And so between 2014 and 2018, I was in full time ministry, doing for the church what I now do for myself and clients today. And it helped to bridge that gap about 3.5 years that I was in full time ministry working at the church. And so I bet on myself. I didn't go back to what I thought I should have gone back to as it pertains to what I was educated to do, what I had degrees to do, but I decided that I wanted to bet on the natural gifts and talents that God had already placed within me. And so I bet on myself. And that's what I walked away with, that if you don't bet on yourself, nobody else will. That if you don't make your dream happen, nobody else will. That if you don't pursue what you know is in your heart, what you know that you're passionate about, then it won't happen. It will not happen if you don't bet on yourself. So I made the decision that now at the time was the right time. That now at the time was a time for me to turn my life in the direction that I wanted it to go in. And it has been over 10 years since the job layoff, a total of 7 years of me fully going full time. And so between 2014 and 2018, I was what was considered a parallelpreneur, where I had and it really wasn't a traditional 9 to 5, but where I had a job while also building my business. And that is my ultimate recommendation for people who currently are wanting to replace their 9 to 5 income so that they can go into full time entrepreneurship, building an online based business, becoming a speaker, consultant, so on and so forth, that you leverage your job in order to create the opportunity to go full time in your business. Lesson number two. Lesson number two. Clarity is power. That you have to be clear on what it is that you want to do. You have to be clear on where it is that you're wanting to go. You have to be clear on what the end result looks like for you. And for me, it looked like time freedom. For me, it looked like location freedom. For me, it looked like being able to live life that is aligned with the work that I do. One of the things that I had to grapple with when I got laid off was that we were taught that you identify the work that you want to do that supports the life that you want to live. And that's really a little bit backwards, because what we end up doing is spending more time doing the work than we do living the life. And after having experienced that for 10 years, when I got laid off, I had to rewire my thinking and ask myself, what is the life that I want to live? And then what work will support that? I'm going to say it again. I had to rewire my mind and ask myself, what's the type of life that I want to live? And then what work will support that lifestyle? Because I knew that I wanted to have a freedom based lifestyle that allowed me the opportunity to not only be here in Nashville, but to be in any other city, any other state, any other country that I want to be in, but yet still have the ability to earn money. Some people call that a digital nomad. Some people call that having a location free business. Some people call that just being an online entrepreneur. Well, I knew that online entrepreneurship, being a speaker, being someone who has the ability to make money, whether I'm in a particular location or not, I knew that was the type of work that was going to support the type of lifestyle that I desired to have. I love to travel. I love new experiences. I love visiting new places. While at the same time, I know that I need to make money. And so Working a traditional 9 to 5 or having a brick and mortar type of business wasn't going to work for me because that wasn't the type of lifestyle that I wanted to have. And so you have to be clear on what it is that you want. You have to be clear on what it is that you desire. I wanted to be a transformational speaker. I enjoy standing on stages, educating, teaching, sharing the knowledge that I've gleaned over the years with others to help them make their transformation or transition that they desire to have. I desire for my life to be a blueprint for others to show them that they too can take their skills, take their talents, take their gifts, and create a business around that. So you have to be crystal clear. I like to say clarity is king, content is queen when it comes to my type of business. Being clear on what I want, creating the content that supports that so that I can ultimately have the business that I desire. Clarity is power. Type that in the comments. Clarity is power. So lesson number 1 was bet on yourself. Lesson number 2, clarity is power. Those of you who are just hopping on to today's live, we're talking about 7 years, 7 lessons that I've learned as an entrepreneur. This month marks June 2025 marks 7 years of being a full-time entrepreneur. Lesson number 3 is a big lesson, is a key lesson, and that is that coaching and community matters. That if you really want to get where you want to go, then coaching and community matters. Whether that's mentorship, paid coaching, it is important. I believe in investing in myself. I believe in expediting the process. Can you learn on your own? Is there enough information out there for you to be able to learn how to do whatever it is that you want to do? Absolutely. But if you want to expedite that process, if you want to not necessarily cut corners, but move forward faster, it's best that you get coaching from somebody who's already been where you've been and who's already where you are trying to go. That identify coaches and mentors who are doing what it is that you want to do on the level that you're wanting to do it on and making the type of income that you desire to make. And so I learned that early in my journey of becoming an entrepreneur. Even before I got laid off, I was investing in myself. I invested in a life/business coach who helped me to put my business plan together, helped me to put my plan of action together of transition from the 9 to 5 into full-time entrepreneurship. But before I could implement it, I got laid off. But I was able to use that same plan when I was working full-time in ministry. I was able to use that plan to help identify when it was a good time for me to make the transition. That I had enough money saved, enough of a client base in order to make that transition when I made it back in 2018. Community matters. When I talk about community matters, I'm also talking about identifying like-minded individuals who are doing what it is that you are desiring to do or who are on the journey with you. And so going to conferences, going to workshops, finding these auxiliary groups that are helping individuals in the area that you want help in. For example, I started a podcast back in 2015. And in Nashville, there's a community called, I think, Nashville Podcasters Group that meet at the Entrepreneur Center. So I connected myself to that to learn from other podcasters. What are some of the strategies they're using in order to grow their podcast? What are some of the strategies that they're using in order to create quality podcast episodes and shows? What are the equipment that they are using in order to have good sounding podcasts? What type of cameras are they using if they're doing video podcasting? Everything that you see right now in my home office are things that I've learned because of community. And now people are asking me, Markeith, what type of camera are you using? What type of mic should I be using? What type of lapel mic should I be using? Where are you getting your lighting? All of these things that people are asking me today that I develop expertise on is from coaching and community. Without the coaching, I wouldn't necessarily have the step-by-step process of knowing what to do. Without the community, there's some things that I was able to glean from the community that I didn't have to get coaching on or pay for coaching on because the community was sharing what they were doing. And then I would take that success and implement it in my own business, implement it in my own podcast, implement it on my own YouTube channel. So, community and coaching was the lesson 3. Having the right coaches and mentors by your side, along with a supportive community, accelerates your growth and keeps you accountable. Entrepreneurship can feel lonely, but it doesn't have to be. I'll say that again. Entrepreneurship can feel lonely, but it doesn't have to be. Lesson number 4 of the 7 lessons learned. Number 4 of the 7 lessons learned is that progress over perfection. Progress over perfection. A lot of times we can get caught up in all the shiny objects and we want to be perfect to get started, but it doesn't have to be perfect. And you want to make sure that you're not impeding on your progress. Shiny object is great, but you don't have to start with the shiny object. Don't let the shiny object get in the way of you actually progressing in your business or getting started. Sometimes we see everybody else who might be influencers, who might be doing certain things on their social media, who might be doing certain things in their business. You can't compare their 10-year mark to your 1-year mark. Progress over perfection. Progress over perfection. Waiting for everything to be just right is something that will impede your progress. I'm going to say it again. Waiting for everything to be just right is something that will impede your progress. It only delays your impact. Listen to this. Done is better than perfect. Done is better than perfect. The fact of the matter is that the more that you do, the more consistent you are at doing, the better you become. You know, we've all heard that saying, practice makes perfect. There's never a time or an opportunity where anything will be perfect, but there are opportunities and times where things will be better. So I like to say practice makes better. Somebody type that in the comments if you're tuning in the live stream. Practice makes better. There's no such thing really as perfect. There's this law called the law of diminishing intent. And what that simply means is that the longer you wait to start something, the more likely it is that you actually won't do it. Say it again. The law of diminishing intent says the longer that you wait to do something, the more likely it is that you won't actually do it. And so, carpe diem, seize the moment, take action right then and there. Progress over perfection, because you'll never achieve perfection. You will never achieve perfection. It only impedes on you actually getting it done. That was lesson number 4, progress over perfection. Lesson number 5, adaptability wins. Adaptability wins. Now, this is important because as you get started with any type of vision or dream that you have to understand that there will always be pivots that will need to be made. And over these last 7 years, I've made a lot of pivots, especially during the pandemic. I had to make pivots as a speaker, as a coach, as a consultant. And when 2020 hit and the pandemic hit, a lot of my traditional type of business ultimately began to dwindle. And so I had to pivot the business doing something that people were asking me for. And during the pandemic, a lot of individuals, organizations were asking me about doing virtual production. And they knew that I could do it because I had always been doing my podcast via virtually. I'll always be sharing videos doing my podcast interviews and sharing all the different strategies and the different things that I would do when people would watch my podcast. And so one of the things that was important was that people noticed how I showed up online. I'm gonna say that again. People noticed how I showed up online. And because they noticed that, they began to ask me, how can we still do a virtual event even though we can't do in person events? And so I pivoted my business for a couple of years where I was offering virtual production to nonprofits and organizations so they can still continue to raise money through virtual events. And I still have a couple of clients that still work with me for virtual events. And so you have to learn how to be adaptable. You have to learn how to pivot in business because the world changes fast with all this technology and AI and all these different things that are happening. You have to learn how to adapt. I had to learn how to adapt, and I have pivoted many times. I'm actually in a pivot right now, truly wanting to shift my business away from providing physical services because I was providing physical services. And now I want to truly journey into an online education business that my entire business is strictly and specifically online. And if I decide to do a service, then I get to decide that. But I want a true online based business that generates income. And it's going to take some time for me to completely pivot in that direction. But I know that I can do it. And so I'm in a pivot right now. I'm adapting my business to where I see it going. And a couple of years from now, I might have to pivot again. But you have to learn how to be adaptable. Every entrepreneur has to learn how to pivot. It's a must. Whether you're an entrepreneur or not, if you are a career professional, you still have to learn how to pivot. So, lesson number 5 is just learning how to adapt and knowing that adapting wins. Lesson number 6, we're talking about 7 years, 7 lessons learned as an entrepreneur. Take care of yourself. This is key. All of these are just gems, but you have to take care of yourself. What good is it that you have a successful business that is profitable, that's making impact, and that's doing what it is that you set out for it to do, but your health is failing you? And now you can't even enjoy the success. You can't even enjoy the profits because your health is failing you because you have not chosen to take care of yourself. Getting enough sleep, getting enough rest, taking time off, making sure that you are well. And how do I know? Because there was a season in my life where the business was so consuming that I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't eating right. I wasn't drinking enough water. I wasn't getting enough exercise. But here's that word again. I had to learn how to pivot. I had to learn how to say to myself, Markeith, is this what you want? Is this what you set out to create? that basically I had created just another job instead of creating a business. And so I pivoted and I put my health first. I put me first. I put my spiritual development first. Then comes the business. Then comes everything else. If you're not taking care of you, then all the other things will be impacted by that. That you have to take care of yourself first. Your business can't thrive if you're burned out. Your career can't thrive the way you want it to if you're burned out. You got to prioritize your health. You got to prioritize your nutrition. And so today, I'm working out no less than 5 days a week, taking 2 days a week of rest day. Because I know that the more healthy I am, the more healthy my business is, the more healthy my life is, the more healthy my relationships are. The less healthy I am, the less likely all those other things are healthy. I tell this story all the time. I'll never forget when I was working in my career as a public health professional, there was this doctor who was the commissioner of health for the state of Tennessee. And he gave a speech one day that I was able to witness. And I don't remember nothing about that speech except for the slogan that he left us with. And that was, your health is in your hands. Somebody type that in the comments if you're listening, that your health is in your hands. Similar to making your dream happen, making your vision happen, your health is in your hands. If you're going to be healthy, if you're going to eat right, if you're going to have proper nutrition, if you're going to feel good and energized, it's up to you. That you can't let everything else consume you to the point that you're not taking care of you. You have to take care of yourself. Lesson number 7. I'm so excited to share this, and that is impact over income. I am still learning this lesson, that it's not about the money, but it's all about the impact. That chasing your purpose over profit has always led to more fulfillment. The more you are on purpose, the more likely you'll be led to profit. And that the fact of the matter is that some of the most profitable businesses that I know of, that I've researched, that I've read about, they're profitable because they're impactful. I'm going to say it again, that most successful businesses that are profitable, they are profitable because of the impact that they're making in the lives of other people. I think it was Zig Ziglar who said that if you can help enough people get what they want in life, you will ultimately have everything you desire in life. That what you want in life is connected to how many people you help and impact. How many people can get a transformation from the value that you provide. And so I had to look at my bank account. I had to look at how I was living. I had to look at what I didn't like about what was going on in my life. And then I had to ask myself the question, are you helping enough people? Are you providing enough value? Are you providing what it is that people need to get their transformation? Because I know that it directly impacts the bank account that I desire to have. And so, what can I do to help more people? Not just for the money, but what can I do to help more people to impact their lives, that the byproduct of that becomes more income? My ultimate goal is impact. My ultimate goal is to impart new wisdom, new knowledge within people, that they say to themselves, I never thought about it this way. Or that was a valuable nugget that I needed that was missing from what I didn't know. Impact over income. And sometimes I still get caught up in wanting to make the money. I still get caught up in looking at my bank account and asking myself, what the problem is. And I already know that if the income is low, that means the impact has been low. And so I got to raise my impact. I got to raise my awareness. I got to raise the transformation that I want to bring to the world. And the byproduct of that will be, I promise you, a more profitable business and greater income. 7 lessons learned in 7 years as a full-time entrepreneur. And it's been a great experience. Let me go back through those real quickly. Lesson number 1, bet on yourself. Lesson number 2, clarity is power. Lesson number 3, coaching and community matters. Lesson number 4, progress over perfection. Lesson number 5, adaptability wins. Learn how to pivot. Lesson number 6, take care of yourself. Your health is in your hands. And lesson number 7, impact over income. Which of these lessons resonates most with you? Or share your own lessons in the comments. What's a lesson that you've learned along the way of your entrepreneurial journey or just in your life in general? What are the lessons that you feel like will help somebody else learn? I'm always appreciative of you taking time out to watch my lives. Like I said, it has been a while since I did a live. But if you are somebody who is ready to take your personal brand to the next level, somebody who has a vision and an idea for a business and just needs that extra person to travel along the journey with you, I have a laser coaching program that's specifically for that, where you have an opportunity to have a coach on call to ask whatever questions that you need to ask to help you along your journey. All you have to do is go to markeithbraden.com/laser coaching. markeithbraden.com/laser coaching to learn more about that program. This program allows you the opportunity to have unlimited laser coaching for 90 days. The only requirement is that you always do your homework before you book your next call. And so if you have been wanting to hire a coach, needing somebody to kind of help you along the way, as we talked about in lesson number 3, coaching and community matters, check out that program, markeithbraden.com/laser coaching. If you're just getting started and just really want an opportunity to sit down and talk with me, I offer everybody one complimentary discovery session, what I call the Maximize Your Brand discovery session. And you can go to markeithbraden.com/consulting or consultation, markeithbraden.com/consultation, and you can book your one free discovery session in order to just have a brief conversation. The only requirement there is that you have to complete the questionnaire in order to sit down and talk and get on my calendar. So the questionnaire comes first. Once you complete your questionnaire, you can schedule your one free consultation. I'm always excited to be here. In the future, as we move forward, my intention is for me to have live phone calls during the live phone calls that you can ask questions live. And so moving forward, we're going to take our live streams to the next level and have live phone calls where you can call in via Zoom number and we can answer your question live during the stream. Well, this has been great. Right at about 34 minutes. And you can expect to see me each and every week moving forward the remaining of the year. If I'm not live, there still will be a video that I will share that will stream live that you can still engage with. But I wanted to make sure that I got back to starting doing my weekly lives, providing value, sharing with you what I have going on and how we can engage with each other. But until next week, I look forward to hearing what your lessons are as you share those in the comments. I'll also post in the comments the opportunities for you to learn more about the laser coaching as well as getting a part of or accessing the discovery sessions as well. But until next time, just remember this: always shoot for the top because it is the bottom that is overcrowded. Take care.